When you think of a Stoic, you probably think of this guy, or this guy, or maybe this guy. When I first read into Stoicism, everything was linked to these so-called manly characteristics like detachment, control, and logical reasoning. And anyone that spoke about Stoicism with any conviction at all was also a man. Leaving a woman like me just thinking, what good can anybody see in this philosophy? I mean, really, who wants to be a man? Ew. But deep diving into the teaching of Stoicism has actually made me a better woman. This has mostly been done through a lot of reflection, and I believe that a lot of people can find value in these teachings too. So here I am, guys, sharing them with you. Hello, my fellow humankind. My name is Mariam and welcome to my YouTube channel. This video is about Stoicism and how it's helped me become a better woman. I have structured this video as the three main things that Stoicism has helped me with. Firstly, all about how it's affected the way I react to the way that other people treat me. Second is about mental hedonism. And finally, through jealousy. Some of these may or may not be relevant to you, so please skip to the ones that interest you most. I have this huge problem where I feel like I need to be the most genuine person that I can be at all times. This has got me into a lot of trouble because sometimes when I feel like, well, I don't like a person, I just feel like I need to be genuine and maybe show them that I don't like them. And unfortunately, these principles don't mean that I am extra nice to people that I love, and that kind of goes against the whole Stoic thing. So Stoicism teaches us that the most important thing is that we are always kind, and that kindness needs to be absolutely genuine in a way that kindness is what we feel internally as well as our actions. We can't be kind but then be insincere at the same time, which means that if you're being kind to create opportunity for yourself, or maybe to have some kind of authority over other people, or even if it's to be seen as a kind person overall, that is not kindness. The issue with this is that most of us come across really rude and horrible people most of the time. People are constantly crossing the line. They talk to others in a demeaning way just to raise their own authority or their own achievements. And to be honest with you, I hate those kind of people. The frustrating thing is that these people usually get ahead in life. They're usually the ones to cut the line to get things, or they're the ones to get in a promotion. It's really easy to get really angry at these people, to resent them, and just use it as an excuse for your own fall. The key thing is that you have to take a step back and see the bigger picture. There are so many things that we can control in life, but at the same time, there's things that we have no control over. And of course, other people's personalities and their responses are completely out of our control. It's hardly ever personal. If someone has smelly breath or they're eating really loudly, you have to understand that it's out of your control. They probably don't even know they're doing it, and I'm still learning this one. If someone's overtaken you on the road, gotta control the road rage, bro. You have to resist the impulse to respond to unkindness and rudeness from other people. As a woman, the mantra that I have in my head is from Seneca, and he says, how much better to heal than seek revenge from other people. Vengeance wastes a lot of time and exposes you to more injuries than the first thing that caused it. We should only try to control things that we actually have control over. If we're rude to people that are rude to us, do you honestly think that's going to change them? That probably isn't the case. So let's put all that energy back into our own lives and try to be the best versions of ourselves that we can be. I've always been the kind of person that reflects on all the things that have happened to me throughout the day. It's a huge reason why I haven't been able to sleep very well at night. Like, I think about all the things that have happened, that can happen, that will happen, that won't happen. And the thing is, most of these things never end up happening at all. I felt that by thinking about these things, it would somehow prepare me for things that might happen in my life. And somehow I'd be able to deal with them in the best way possible if I prepare myself for them in advance. I know something that people have asked me in the past is like, hey Mariam, how do you stop overthinking? I don't really think I ever knew all of the answers, so I just fluff any advice that I could give people. I really really wish that I knew the concept of mental hedonism sooner. For a long time, I believed that this way of thinking is the most productive way for me to be. Apart from the lack of sleep that I was getting from it, I genuinely believed that I would be a happier and more successful person if I had control over every situation possible. This is something that I've had a long-standing, difficult relationship with, the concept of having control over life. But on the long term, I've just realized that mental hedonism is just causing me a lot of misery. I don't think I've ever been able to live a completely hedonistic life, but there's a big part of it that has tried to downplay all the parts that I struggle with and maybe uplift the exciting parts of life. I mean, isn't this just the human reaction to things? I don't know. Believing that we're able to control things, isn't that sort of counterproductive to life? We don't have control over anything, not even our own bodies. I mean, they eventually give up on us and die regardless of our personal preferences are about them. Attempting to escape the bad parts of my life and also having control over lots of different angles of my life is hugely a reason why I failed at so many things. By over-preparing myself for things that never actually ended up happening, I ended up wasting a big part of my 20s. Could have used that energy to develop myself and educate myself in things that could actually matter. Alas, these regrets remain. But one thing's for sure, I definitely now have more control over my mind than this perceived future that I've built for myself in my head. And that is a huge, huge relief. I don't think I've ever been an overly jealous person, but I know that looking back, I don't think there was ever really a reason for me to be jealous. Before I was 20, I wasn't really an ambitious person in a lot of ways. Like, I took life the way it came to me. I never really had to work a lot, like things just worked out for me. But towards the end of my university, I had to take action for things to work for me, and that took a lot of effort from me. Comparing myself to other people around me became more and more natural to me, and almost like a mental frame that I possessed. Especially at times where I believed myself to be in like a dark place in my life, where things weren't moving in the direction that I wanted them to, or in a lot of ways just not moving at all. I felt paralyzed by my own failures, and that's when I started to compare myself with other people around me. It's no wonder that Joseph Epstein actually mentioned jealousy as one of the 7 deadly sins. If you look at it realistically, it's probably one of the only deadly sins that isn't any fun at all. Yet so many people are totally consumed by this, to the extent that we let so many relationships, our future, so many things just be completely ruined by this. Eventually things just hit me in my face, where I realized 2 main things. Firstly, nobody has everything. Things that we are envious about other people may be justified in our own heads, but in reality, other people may not have things that we take for granted. That's why comparison is such a dirty, dangerous thing, because we are telling ourselves that the things that we don't have are more important than the things that we do. There's an old Urdu saying which says, "Kisi ko mukammal jahan nahi milta, kahin zameen aur kahin asman nahi milta," which loosely translates to, some people attain the sky whilst others, they attain the ground. Nobody attains a complete world. These words sting me a little, because if we look around us, nobody has a complete version of everything. So giving up the will to attain everything is such a powerful rebellion. The second thing is, I realized that just because I don't have something right now doesn't mean that I never will. There are lots of things in life to be insecure about. Our success, attainments, our status and relationships. I mean, the list goes on. I've spoken a lot about the power of embracing certain things in our life and taking control in our lives, but I truly mean it. But I completely consider the fact that just because I haven't been successful in something right now, or I haven't attained something right now, just doesn't mean that I never will. We have to sometimes step back from our own lives, and one day when I actually attain those things, the timing of that will be way more beautiful than I could ever imagine it to be. Marcus Aurelius actually gives us a solution. Don't set your mind up to things that you don't possess, but count the blessings of the things you do possess, and think about how much you would desire them if you didn't have them. Stoicism teaches us that everything is subject to continual change. In fact, the only thing that is constant is change. If we simply don't know how change is going to manifest, why do we stress about it so much? The only thing that we can do is live for the moment moment and in the best way possible that we can. So live your life with the best intentions you can, with actual purpose in all of our actions, but lose the need to feel powerful in every situation. That truly is the secret to success. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know it was a little bit of a long one, but I just felt like there was just so many useful nuggets and so many things that I can say which have truly impacted me as a woman. I know there's lots of other things that I can read about Stoicism. Some I may agree with and some I may not. If there's things that you actually found interesting in this video or things that you know more about, please comment. I would love to hear your thoughts. Please subscribe to my channel if this is the kind of videos that you like. And yeah, drink some water and live a happy life.